cuffs are off, man.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, friends? Daniel Dopp here from the Fantasy Focused Football Podcast over on ESPN.
It's Fabs here, Michael Fabiano from Sports Illustrated.
You know who you can trust if you've got some questions about your fantasy squad?
Want to check out a cool show on YouTube that'll help you get ready for the fantasy football season?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Head on over to YouTube. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network because they're doing everything they can to make you a better fantasy player.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I get.
What up, world? This is FishnFrank here with Get Right Fantasy Network coming at you again here. It's end of week 7 going into week 8 now. What a nice doubleheader we had here tonight, Monday night game. Game 1 was the Lions versus the Buccaneers. Lions routing the Buccaneers 24-9. I mean, they dominated there at the Ford Field. Running back Jahmyr Gibbs was the star for the night, tallying 218 yards from scrimmage and scoring 2 rushing touchdowns. Then we had, unfortunately, Tampa Bay wide receiver Mike Evans left the game with a broken clavicle and is expected to miss the remainder of the season. So, unfortunately, he just came back from an injury and immediately went back out for the season. So that's just tough. Things happen like that in the NFL. Hopefully, Mike gets better. And, we'll see him again next year. But, yeah, he's done, so the streak ends. And then game 2 tonight was Seattle Seahawks and the Texans. Seahawks 27, Texans 19. I mean, it could have been worse if the Seahawks didn't get so many turnovers. And the Texans just couldn't get anything done. I mean, they just look god-awful. Zach Charbonnet did score 2 touchdowns to seal the deal here, but the Texans defense is what was keeping it close. If it wasn't for them, it would have been just a terrible route there. Let's take a look at what we got going on tonight here. Welcome in here. Anybody that's coming in the chat, let me know if you got some questions here. So we're going to go over the top waiver wire ads here in a bit, but first going to talk about week 7, react to just news and injury, and then do the injury recap. Then we're going to look at your top waiver wire ads by position, 65% roster or less, and then do some live Q&A here if we have a little bit of time. It is late, much later than usual because, again, that doubleheader Monday night game, it just ended here a little bit ago. So I'm probably going to keep it short tonight. I'm a little tired, but, we'll get as much as we can done here. Just giving you a show rundown here of what we have here for you guys here at Get Right Fantasy Network on a weekly basis. We'll do Tuesday nights, the Phil with the extra point, and Ruskin and Joseph over there. So Wednesdays nights, we got the roster management buy, sell, trade show, but I'm not going to do this Wednesday. Fortunately, we'd be tied up. So we're going to see you guys back next week. Friday, we got the sit start Q&A. And then Sundays, we got the active inactive with Mike in the mornings there. Come check us out. We got plenty of streams here for you and putting out plenty of content for you guys on the weekly basis here. As always, we have super chats. So if you guys are so inclined to help this channel here, and we do would have greatly appreciated because we don't really get paid much, if anything at all, just to do what we do here. So we spend extra time on your questions. So let's take a look at what you guys have, and just kind of like look into what your questions are and dove into them a little bit more. Now we got just going in here into week 7. Here at the end of week 7, we had the Broncos complete a remarkable comeback. I want to see the Denver scored 33 fourth quarter points to win 33-32 against the New York Giants. Bo Nix ran a game-winning touchdown with less than 40 seconds left. And this was the most points scored in a single quarter by any team that was shut out in the first 3 quarters. So the Broncos scored the 4 fourth quarter touchdowns to erase the significant deficit. So yeah, it was a nice comeback win there for the Broncos. Too bad for the Giants. It was just I can't believe they weren't able to hold on to that and keep the win. Um, we also had Rams handle the Jaguars in London. Cowboys, just dominated over the Washington, which um, uh, I can't think of his name right now. I have him in the injury notes. The quarterback went down over there with the hamstring over there. So yeah, and then we also have some news here with the Rams here in London. Matthew Stafford threw three touchdowns to wide receiver Davante Adams there. So they just cruised into a victory, 35-7 over the Jaguars there in London. So yeah, just kind of some things that highlights that happened during the week here. As we come here into week 8, we got Arizona Cardinals, Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars, Las Vegas Raiders, Los Angeles Rams, and Seattle Seahawks on a bye. So I know a lot of guys going to be having to look at this waiver wire this week just to pick up some players, just because you got to replace somebody that's on a bye. This week 8 Thursday night matchup will be the Minnesota Vikings with the Los Angeles Chargers. So that's going to be a decent game there. Should be exciting. Minnesota Vikings are 3-3. The last game they played was the loss to the Eagles at 28-22, and the Chargers are 4-2, and then they just lost to the Colts 38-24. So here's some, going into the injuries here. Let me know who's out here, man. I see you guys are watching. Any comments? Say what's up, man. Let me know what's going on tonight. What do you guys think of these games tonight? Do you guys enjoy these doubleheader Monday nights? I'm not a fan of them. I understand this is probably the last Monday night that they will do a doubleheader like this, so hopefully that's the end of that, and we could move on to just a regular scheduled program here. I like the single Monday night that I can pay attention to, and obviously it's a little earlier. Can imagine being in the East Coast and having these games go this late into the night. You wouldn't be able to get to work the next day. So yeah, here we go into the injuries here this week. Unfortunately, a lot of them what happened here. Jaden Daniels, that's who I was thinking about here with the Commanders. Hamstring is likely out. So we keep it on his injury status going into the next week, but I'm pretty sure he's going to miss at least 1 week with that. Bryce Young, ankle likely out, but he ended up playing tonight. But I guess he got a backup. Andy Dalton would like to fill in over here at Carolina. And we got Michael Penix, also likely out with the foot, suffered in week 7. Taylor Heineke will start in his place if he misses time. So, keep an eye on those guys. We also got Carson Wentz with shoulder questionable here for the Vikings. So, we're just going into J.J. McCarthy coming back, I think, with the ankle injury. So I think he might be back here in week 8, but, kind of keep an eye on that one. On the running back injuries, we have Kendre Miller, Saints tore his ACL. He was, starting to take time away from Alvin Kamara there, but unfortunately, now that he tore his ACL, he's out for the season. So you might want to even pick up Devin Neal or he might see some more touches there, just as the backup to Kendre Miller, obviously to just spell Alvin Kamara at this point. So he's locked in there. Saquon Barkley, he was looked at for concussion, but he did clear the concussion protocol, so he went back into the game. Bucky Irving, ankle, he's out dealing with the ankle injury, and then Tyler Goodson there, he's also out with the groin injury, which gives potential bump to Jason Taylor's value and potentially John J. Swift because they're playing against them. Now we're looking at the wide receiver injuries. Puka Nacua, he's still out. We got Deebo Samuel also out with a heel injury. We got Josh Downs out with a concussion. Mike Evans, I mentioned earlier, broken collarbone. And Christian Kirk here with the hamstring. He's also out. So, yeah, there's a lot of guys being out here with both of the wide receiver and running back room. So, we're going to have to keep looking at this waiver wire, see what we got going on this week. Rex, what to do with Ken Walker? From what I seen tonight, I would still keep firing him up, man. He was hitting the hole hard and fast. You know, I would hold on to him and keep firing him up. I'm not sure if I was a sell high type candidate or anything like that. He looked pretty good tonight. Tight end Darren Waller. You know, here injuries here from tight ends. He injured his pectoral. He exited the game, and he's going to get basically more updates during the week. Cole Kmet got a back injury. He exited the game also. David Njoku, he's been out with the knee injury, and Bach Bowers is out with the knee injury as well. So we got to look at the backups in those situations. I think we already mentioned Michael Meyer on that one. So we got to undergo proto read here, you know, just to give you guys a heads up. You know, Underdog Fantasy is the place we play our daily fantasy leagues here and our pick'em contests. That, you know, just simply play a higher or lower on player stats and total yards. We usually do our best ball drafts there, tournaments during the off season and leading up to the season here. But right now it's just all about the pick'em contest. So go check them out. You know, use promo code GetRight. You know, it helps support the channel. And they currently have, I think, Boost Over for this month, where they're just having different players get, you know, promos on every day of the month here in October. So, you know, check out their website. They're going to have a different promo going for you. Right now, they got a current promo of play 50, play 5, get 50, but it's actually play 5, get a 100. I just have to get the updated ad for that. So, yeah. You know, again, use promo code GetRight. Go check Underdog Fantasy, both on .com or the app there. So yeah, let's get into the waiver wire here, guys. Who you guys looking to get? What's your guys' most needed position this week? You know, being with all these bye weeks happening here this week. Let's go ahead and start with the week 8 quarterback waiver wires. We got Jackson Dart coming in here with the New York Giants, only 41% owned. Versus Denver, he went 18-31, 203 passes, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He also went 8 rush attempts for 57 yards and a touchdown, rushing touchdown there. So he's getting a lot of his work on his feet there with Jackson Dart. And yeah, so we want to take a look at him here this coming bye week. We also got old man Joe Flacco over here, Cincinnati Bengals, only 10% owned. He just got moved over there from the Browns, but this is his first complete game versus Pittsburgh. Tough defense there. Went 22 of 34, 342 passing yards, and 3 passing touchdowns. The dude was on fire. Oh, man, put some work in. So you want to take a look at him. We also got Sam Darnold here. You know, I got to look at the stats for tonight's game, but the last game he completed 16-27 for 297 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he's just putting up some decent numbers these last few weeks, and you definitely want to keep an eye on him going forward. Let me see if I could pull up this week's stats for him. Give me a second here, people. As this game just ended tonight. No, it still hasn't been updated on that. The sites just haven't put up the new stats. Obviously, the game just ended tonight, so. Oh, here we go. We got 9-15 for 60 yards, 60 percentage, 134 yards, and 1 touchdown tonight against Houston. We got the numbers in, and he's looking, fortunately, a bye week here in week 8. So you won't be able to hold him out to this week, but he does have Washington in week 9. And he's been putting up some good, decent numbers. We also got Michael Penix Jr., Falcons, 24% owned. He went 19-33 for 234 yards and 1 touchdown, 1 INT versus the 49ers. Fortunately, they did run up against tough defense, but the Falcons had been doing pretty well. But you can take a look at him. And lastly, we got Aaron Rodgers, Pittsburgh Steelers, 28% owned. He completed 21 of 30 pass attempts with 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. So again, you know, with all these bye weeks, you know, you got to look at these guys to see who you're going to be needing to fill in. Both of these guys are widely available in most leagues. So take a look at who you need to fill in here. You got running backs in week 8 here. Devin Neal again, because of aforementioned Kendre Miller going down. So New Orleans Saints, he's only 4% owned, so he's definitely available. You're just looking to handcuff him here, maybe in case something happens to Kamara. I don't think we're going to see too many numbers, or at least get some of the timeshare that Kendre Miller was gaining. But I think it'll go back more to Kamara for the time being until we see something from this guy. The real pickup here this week is Kyle Malungai, Chicago Bears, 6% owned with 13 of 81 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 receptions for 13 yards there. And he's been like kind of in and out of this waiver wire this year. We're still waiting for him to solidify position over there. But DeAndre Swift is putting some decent numbers, so it's making him hard for him to take the too much work away from him. But I think they're going more into a timeshare now, where he's Kyle Malungai will get more looks during these games. We also Brashad Smith here with Kansas City Chiefs, only 6% owned. Went 14 rushing attempts, 39 yards for 5 receptions and 42 receiving yards. So I don't know if he's going to get too much work over there with Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. But he did put up some decent numbers. Maybe more of a handcuff look for him. We had mentioned Blake Corum. He had a decent day, 12 rushes, 37 yards, 1 receiving, and 6 yards. So not. Just a decent game, not much there. And unfortunately, just going to be a backup here once Mari Hampton comes back. So, kind of keep it see. But again, you guys might have some time for them. So we got Timbo Slice coming in, Tez or Godwin. What do you think? I think Tez at this point. I mean, I want to say Godwin, but I haven't seen too much of him this season at all. And his injuries and things like that, I'm not sure if I would trust him. I think I would, go Tez. You've seen him get really involved in this game tonight. I think that'll, work forward for him. So, but Godwin is the statesman. But we got to take a look at what his injury is going to be status is, because he's just coming back himself. So we got Robert coming in as a Taysom Hill would be a runner. For the Saints. Very good point, Robert. Thank you. Remind me of our Swiss Army knife that they have over there, the Saints, and Taysom Hill, who could pass the ball, be a tight end, be a rusher, basically a jack of all trades. And so, it's a good option to have Taysom Hill there. Good look at for him coming up this week. You could get some rushing, get into the rushing room there. Let's see, wide receivers, waiver wire targets here that we got going on. We got Alex Pierce at Indianapolis Colts, only 3% owned. Not too great because he's coming up on the bye in week 8. But Pierce has led the Colts receiving this week with 5 receptions, 98 yards, and this was the 6th consecutive game for that team that he's had that many receiving yards, and as the X receiver gained 48 receiving yards. So it's the 6th consecutive game with a minimum of 48 receiving yards in that position. A guy that we have on the cover here is Xavier Leggett, Carolina Panthers, only 6% owned. Versus the New York Jets, he went 9 for 92 in the touchdown. Basically had his breakout performance here in week 7. Good, strong waiver wire candidate with Bryce Young's injury potential, forcing him more targets to him. We also had Darnell Mooney, who's doing really well, but the Falcons here went against the 49ers, 4 receptions, 68 yards. He's been coming back and is into his own. They're going to be going against the vulnerable Dolphins defense, so check him out in week 8. Also Kendrick Bourne here. 49ers, he's got 51% owned. He really jumped up last week because just due to all the injuries that are over there with the 49ers receivers. He's just seen increased opportunities and workload there. So, keep an eye on him. And lastly, we got Kayshon Boutte with New England Patriots, 25% owned. Caught 2 of 2 targets for 55 yards and a touchdown. But to put together 2 consecutive strong games on the road, logging 3 touchdowns on 7 receptions for the Patriots. And they will take on the Browns in week 8. So, pretty tough matchup there. Let's see if we got any other things going on. Jason Fry. He's the cheat code. I like that. Joe Fry. Should I trade Judkins and Tay for Chase Brown, and Jay Jettis? My running backs will Jamal Williams, Gibbs, Brown, and receivers Rice and Jettas. Yeah, I got to think about that. Should I trade Judkins and trade for Chase Brown, and Jettas? Yeah, I think he should. I mean, you're gonna Chase Brown just had a decent game, but Jay Jettas is who you're going after. And Junkins just really just finally getting into his own. He's really productive, Quinchon Junkins. So you're kind of basically really trading Quinchon Junkins to get Jay Jettas and throwing these guys in at pieces, so at least you get some of that back. But since you already have Jamal Williams there, Javonte Williams, I'm sorry, Jameer Gibbs, Brown, and the receivers will be Rashi Rice and Jetta. I think that's a solid trade. You should do that. I'm 5-2. Brown and Jetta's schedule are super nice for the season. Yes, they are. I like Jay Jettas. I would go after him. I like the trade that you're putting in together there. I'd approve that. I wouldn't mind. I mean, you got to give up something for somebody too. So Jenkins is a good piece to move on from, since you got Javonte Williams and Gibbs there in your running back room as your core. That's not bad to have Chase as like a backup. So I like that move. Let's see what else we got here. Tight ends coming up here. The waiver wire here, we had Rhonda Gatson, man, blowing up this week. Los Angeles Chargers only 3% owned. We went 7 receptions for 164 yards and a touchdown. Gatson this week is the top waiver wire priority. Just the consistent volume that he's had. And it's just basically the best rookie performance of the NFL almost in history, becoming just one of handful tight ends to post 150 plus yards in the game with the rookie season per the Chargers official website. So Guess is busted into the second scene and the priority pick of the waiver wires. And if you need a tight end help, so check him out. Definitely the guy to be looking at here around the Gatson. We also got Theo Johnson, the New York Giants, 18% owned. Went 4 for 37 against the Denver Broncos with 1 touchdown. And he's kind of emerged as a reliable red zone option there for the Giants there. Fortunately, they did, get that loss today, but I mean, he's getting the numbers. Jawan Johnson, New Orleans Saints here, 24% owned, 7 receptions for 79 yards. So it's a season high for him. So again, could be a useful streamer here on the bye weeks. Kate Otten with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now that we got Mike Evans going down, he may get some more receptions as well. So he had 3 receptions, 32 yards. But with the injuries here in the wide receiving room, Kate Otten could see an uptick here over at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And last but not least, we got Pat Freiermuth here, Pittsburgh Steelers, 7% owned. Went for 5 for 56 yards and 2 touchdowns. Basically his breakout performance of the year. So we want to maybe keep an eye on Pat Freiermuth because Aaron Rodgers seems to like the guy, and he's always seemed to be throwing to his tight ends as well. So those are the top waiver wire ads of the week, man. Oh, IsoFlop here. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat here, man. Let's get you up here. Should I trade Jackson Dart for Kyler Murray and Quentin Johnson, or should I hold Dart in case his value goes up and I can get a better player? I would say so. Kyler Murray's injured right now, and I don't see why you would trade for an injured player. Jackson Dart is a waiver wire pickup of his own, and I really don't see why you would give a Quentin Johnson also. I guess that's what you're getting, Quentin Johnson in return for Jackson Dart. I see what's going on. So I should trade Jackson Dart for Kyler Murray and Quentin Johnson. So you'd get both of those players for Jackson Dart. I just don't know when Kyler Murray's going to come back. Let me see what his injury status is. Give me 1 second. Sorry, using the wrong keyboard here. Not set to start week 7 of the Raptors. Receivers he's got a mid-foot sprain. He set this second week in a row. Yeah, I mean, really just trading for Quinton Johnson there. Yeah, like he's easy. He's Kyler Murray's a bust. Yeah, I just wouldn't do that, man. I would hold on to Dart. I think you could definitely get more. He's been, running really well. Um, yeah, and yeah, I just couldn't do that. So I would need Kyler for week 10 bye. I have Dak. Uh, you know, I think you could trade Jackson Dart for somebody else. Look for somebody else's backup, see what you can do there. But I just wouldn't do it for Kyler Murray. I mean, I get that you're getting Quentin Johnson, but what do you have in your receiving room? You know what I mean? Like, is Kyler Murray going to be there for your week 10 bye? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I know you got Dak, and Dak's putting up some incredible numbers. I mean, he's just been on fire this year. So, yeah, I wouldn't do that trade. But I thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. So yeah, let's kind of go over here. I'm just going to kind of recap here who we have for top waiver wire picks of the week. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. I know I'm going kind of fast tonight, but obviously the game kind of delayed the start of this show, and it's kind of late, man. I've been traveling a lot this weekend. So we, major injuries with Jaden Daniels getting, the hamstring injury. Kendra Miller torn the ACL. We got Mike Evans with the broken collarbone. So they're the big ones from this weekend. Takeaways on those guys. As far as waiver wire pickups, I mean, we just talked about the guy. Jackson Dart is a waiver wire pickup right now, only 41% owned. Joe Flacco, he's coming back into the zone over there with the Cincinnati Bengals, making T. Higgins and Jamar Chase relevant over there again. Sam Darnold putting some good numbers, and Michael Penix as well. And if you need to take a look at somebody last minute here, Aaron Rodgers would not be so bad as a waiver wire guy. As far as running backs, we're looking at Kyle Monangai as your number one guy here. Really, for this week for running back, that's basically your best option. I mean, we did mention Devin Neal, but his counterpart here on set, Taysom Hill would be an option as well. And he's like, yeah, grab Flacco. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's somebody out there. You got to be able to go grab somebody. And then we got wide receivers. We're talking about Alex Pierce. Getting some good numbers here. Xavier Leggett is on the cover here. Darnell Mooney and Kendrick Bourne, some top of the wide receiver guys. For tight ends, we got Oronde Gadsden as the top guy, as well as Kate Otten getting some uptick, and Pratt Freiermuth getting a blowout game there. So, yeah, those are the top guys here for this week. Not to cut it short, man, but it is a long night, and this game just came in late. It's already 11 o'clock where I'm at. Appreciate y'all being here, man. Thank you so much for joining me. I got to get it short in here. Let's see. Again, I'm not going to be here Wednesday, but the guys will be here Tuesday, and then back again on Friday for the sit starts and Q&A there Friday. So other than that, appreciate you guys being out here. Peace out. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
White fantasy is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go